We are in Niagara Falls, Canada, and catching the very end of a sunset. Sorry I didn't make it earlier. I had a little technical difficulty like I seem to every day, but we're good to go now. So the sad part is that the sunset is actually behind us, and it's impossible to ever throughout the year catch a sunset here in Niagara Falls that goes over the falls. Obviously we're facing the wrong direction. But what we will see in a little while as things darken up is that the city of Niagara Falls lights these falls up. What we're looking at right now is the American Falls, and the little piece off to the right is called the Bridal Veil Falls. And they will be lit with LED lights. It looks really beautiful. It's a spectacular thing to see. So in the meantime, what you're witnessing, you'll notice that the trees don't have leaves on them because it's just entering spring here. So the next time I show this to you, it will look much different as it has before. So if there's any luck in the world, we're actually up and running now. Thank you everybody for coming in. If I can find a way to read the chat here. I changed my mind about the system I was using because for whatever reason it doesn't seem to want to work the way I want it to. So I'm improvising here, and you would laugh if you saw me. I am literally kneeling on the ground by the railings behind where the camera is filming right now, but I insisted I'm getting this no matter what happens today. Give me a mark for perseverance here. Forgive me for all the things I've missed in the chat. Don Arnold, 2 pineapples, Scratch and PPA, my love Kristen, thank you for coming in. Holly's Hobby House, good to see you here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the view. I wish I got this going a few minutes earlier. The sun was still on the falls. What I didn't take into account as well is the fact that behind me, and you'll have to look at my other live streams for that, there are a lot of structures. Like the city of Niagara Falls has lots of large hotels and attractions, restaurants, and all kinds of stuff. And what that does is it raises the height. So when the sun sets behind us, then it's a couple minutes earlier than what we were expecting. But hopefully everybody's enjoying this view anyway. I never get tired of this. Eve Belize, good to see you here. Georgia Bulldogs, thanks for coming in. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody. I have the hardest time reading the chat with the way that I'm doing this right now. What is open at Clifton Hill now? I'm not sure if anything at all is open because our area of Ontario, Canada went into full-on lockdowns this week. So my guess would be that nothing's open. So that's why I didn't plan on going over there today. You can't do almost anything. The only thing you could do is get takeout food. Now there's a lot of food over there, but some of the more delicious stuff may not be there because the attractions aren't open to go with it. Oh my My goodness. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoy this. I'm going to try to get a lot of this stuff. So the next time I get down here, I know a little bit better. I'll catch a better view. We'll get it about 15 minutes earlier before the the shade starts to rise up the falls. And then we'll get the Horseshoe Falls another time as well. And D. May, thank you for coming in, by the way. I'm expecting to be here just over an hour, so we'll get to see the full effect of this sunset, and hopefully they'll turn the lights on. Now, I could be mistaken. As I'm saying that, I'm kind of remembering Kristen saying something about the lights coming on a little bit later. I don't know when they actually put them on. She knows better than I do. Hopefully we'll see them light the falls before the live stream ends. Two Pineapples will be happy to know I've got the GoPro going again too. So that's sitting right beside me and just filming. So we'll see what we get. Sam's Vlogs Train some more. Good to see you here. Midnight in England. Wow, yeah. Found a good site just this morning, actually, a website. If you want it, just hit me up on Instagram. I'll get it. Or I'll try to remember to put it in the description afterwards. And what it does is it tells you the exact coordinates with a little like line that it draws to show you where the sunrise and the sunset are going to be that day. So if you're doing what I'm doing, which is going out to catch a sunrise or a sunset, you can get the perfect vantage point to see that. So, not that I necessarily have the perfect vantage point today. This is good enough for what we're doing, but you could. Now, I hope to catch a sunrise eventually, and when I do, that site will really help because we'll be able to position it, so hopefully the sun will come right up in the center of the falls. But you wouldn't be able to catch that if you didn't know in advance, so we'll see. Vern's Junk Closet's in the house, my YouTube BFF. Cooking with Miss Brown, thanks for coming in. Capio, good to see you here. Big ups to you, thanks for coming in. For those of you who, not everybody here is from Tuber Chat. Everybody can connect with each other if they want to, but I'll just ask a favor. Please feel people out first. Start a conversation first, because not everybody's into all of that stuff. But for those of you who are, Vern's Junk Closet is going to join me again for episode 200 of Tuber Chat. She was with me for episode 100, and it was a much different but well-received live stream that we did. So that should be interesting. G-Free, good to see you here. That's a longtime friend that has been connected to me both here and on Tuber Chat, as a matter of fact. It's great to see you. It's interesting how fast the falls or the sun seems to set when you're watching it, right? Oh, now we're already getting battery warnings. But I do have my chargers and a power bank and all that stuff. So I wonder if it's just a little bit colder than I think. Is that the reason? Because this is a new iPhone 11. I haven't done much streaming with this yet, only in 2021, because Kristen gave me this for Christmas. So, hopefully it's working a little bit better than the old iPhone SE did, but it might be drinking battery. Have to figure that out. Hopefully we're doing okay. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the view either way. Glad everybody's saying hello to each other. And like I said, I'll try to get out here a lot this year. You know, my intention is to come out at least once a week, but show all the different parts of Niagara Falls. So I have a lot of live streams from last year already, where we looked at Clifton Hill, we came down to the Niagara Falls at night, you know, and we've seen a few things, but we'll see what the state of 2021 is going to be, because now that we just went into lockdown, it's going to look a lot different. You know, April and May are going to look different than we thought they would. And considering that we're in one of the most hardcore lockdowns, I don't imagine they're going to open the doors wide open in 4 weeks. So time will tell, and we'll have to see. It's me, Wanston. Yes, honey. Thanks for coming in. And House of X Entertainment Inc. That's It's Me, Wanston. Yes, honey. And yo, it's your boy Leo together in a joint business channel. So you want to check that out too. I think everybody here, almost everybody here has a channel. But again, just please feel each other out before connecting with each other, because not everybody's into baking cookies and handing out bananas and stuff like that. I wonder how well you can hear the water when I stop talking. Much louder over by the Horseshoe Falls, which is the, you know, horseshoe shaped one that everybody's a little more familiar with when you think about Niagara Falls. But I've shown both of them lots of times. I'll continue to do that. We're going through a rapid decline in temperature over here. It was 13 degrees not too long ago, and I think we're down to 10 or maybe below. You can hear the water, eh, G-Free? Shake and bake is right, yes. Michael's Adventures, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. Forgive me if I've missed anybody. I see Kira Welton's in the house. I haven't, I'm having a, you'd laugh if you saw what I was doing to try to read the chat today after the fiasco with the stopping and restarting. Oh, there we go. Should have figured I'd do that at some point. Oh, 35 one day in New York last week. Yeah, I can't down, says Don. Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. Actually, you did just hear, it's a monster. So I did have breakfast today, which always consists of adult-sized monster. And since today's a bit of a longer day, I've been up since before 6, and that's a little bit rare for me. I'm usually up at 7 or 8, but because it's going to be a bit of a longer day, I took one of the baby monsters to fill out the evening. Oh, 2 pineapples. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. They are a very generous friend of myself and the tuber chat community. So thank you for that. You literally would laugh. I should get somebody to take a picture of what I'm doing right now. I can't, the way I usually film, not that this matters, but we'll just fill in the time while we stare at the waterfall, right? The way I usually film is I have an older iPhone that I hook up to the gimbal. I tether the internet off my new phone, and then I use the new phone to read the chat. But because everything didn't want to work, now the internet connection is broken. So, for those of you who don't already know, I don't have the best vision in the world. I've got my prescription. I went last week to the eye doctor. I'm going to get glasses sometime. But in the meantime, I have the hardest time reading the chat. especially when we're doing these live streams. It's just not quite big enough for me with Streamlabs or even the YouTube app. So what I've got is the older iPhone now as a magnifying glass so that I can read the chat, but I've got the phone propped up against my gimbal because it doesn't fit. It is really a piece of work, but I insisted. We're getting something today. Behind the scenes, yes, we do need that. And I got the GoPro beside me, so that's filming as well. So we'll see what we get from that. Hopefully it's not too terrible. Hopefully it's usable. I'm sure it will be. Mr. Magoo glasses, they might be. Oh wow, hopefully everybody's doing okay though. I never get tired of this. So Niagara's always been a part of my life because I grew up in Toronto. So I've been down here as many times as you could count, but now I've been living down here for 5 years, and I never get tired of coming down here. Not to mention there's so much to do all the time. I was just down here last week doing this, or whenever it was. You can see I've already done a couple of live streams for 2021, and we caught the zip lines that run right down beside where we are, but they're not operating today. So I'm assuming no zip line for 4 weeks, but I could be wrong about that. I may not be right. Yeah, thank you, Vern's Junk Closet. My dear friend. I hope to get lots and lots of this stuff. I already have another channel set up called Niagara Insider, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but the intention is that if I get out here and do enough filming, I'll put it all on that channel, you know, that'll be dedicated to the Niagara Falls area. And then just go back to regular variety on my own channel and just maybe a little bit of this stuff. But everybody seems to like it. You know, it's interesting to see the world through other people's eyes and get a real look at where people live and the things that they do. And I'm very lucky because I can come and see this every day. You know, we live less than half an hour from where I'm standing. So I'm able to come down and enjoy this. Kristen drives by here on her way to work when she's working, like in her office. She's been working from home for a while, but when she works at the office, she gets to drive by this every single day, twice, if she wants to. So it's interesting. Sam Flog says they have weird weather over there. Never do zip lining. G-Free, I filmed it, I filmed, pardon me, what I did was we came down here and I did a live stream. That's when we went zip lining. But when you go, they don't let you bring anything with you. So you can't have a camera, you can't have anything like that at all. Your phone, not even, no matter what you do, harnesses or anything. So they give you a bag that you put on, it's like a backpack, and you put all your belongings in it. So they forced me to do that. So during the live stream, you see about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a little bit more, of complete darkness while we're ziplining. But I did have a GoPro on at the same time, and they allow that. So separately, I filmed the GoPro footage so you can see exactly what it's like to go down the zip line. This one's not very fast, and the benefit to that is that it takes about 45 seconds or almost a minute to make the whole trip from the top of the zip line down. But it sure is fun. I've only gone twice, both times with Kristen and Kira, but we all had a great time. So I recommend it for anybody that's willing to try it. I didn't want to adjust this thing at all. I was hoping I'd just set it up and film, but we're improvising today. Oh, afraid of heights? Yeah, me too, G-Free. But I've been flying, and so has Kristen and Kira. We've all gone in little sport planes, and that was okay. I've known the flight instructor for many, many years, so maybe that made it a little bit better. I don't know, but we were all okay. I've always had this horrible fear of flights. I fell once. I was hanging up some wiring in a nightclub. I was actually taking it down. We'd already hung it. I was taking it down, and I put the ladder up, and it's one of those straight ladders, not the kind that's like a upside down V, right? I forget how you call these things. And so I climbed, and I thought that it was secure against something, a pipe or something, and it wasn't. And it just fell straight forward, and I fell about 17 feet, and I don't think I broke either of my ankles, but I sprained them both very terribly and was on crutches for like 6 weeks and this and that. So I was already afraid of heights before that. So I don't know why it's okay now to do things. I guess it matters if you're going somewhere and you know they're insured. Maybe that makes it more uncomfortable. I don't know. 2 pineapples. Yeah, the sound is, you know, that white noise of just, you know, water, the way it's falling here, just with such force, right? I wish I wouldn't always say the same things, but I never stop being amazed by the sheer force of the water coming over these falls. And it looks, I know it's not, but it looks even more vicious on the other falls because they're bigger. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Easter, or has enjoyed their Easter, for those of you who have finished already. Stop the falls. I wonder if I ever heard that story. We did have a scrumptious dinner. So Kristen is like one of these people who everything she makes is spectacular, right? Even the simplest dinner she puts a lot of effort into so that it's you know, always a gourmet meal. And you know, today she did us up a nice dinner for Easter and gave me a bunch of chocolate too. So, and baked a cheesecake yesterday, which was, she does a fantastic New York style cheesecake, and I'm looking forward to that afterwards. As a matter of fact, our dinner was so good, none of us even wanted the cheesecake before I came out here. So unless they crack into it before I get home, we'll have that to look forward to afterwards. It's interesting to see all of this now because the snow and ice has all but vanished from the winter. Of course, because of the lockdowns, there's not a lot of people out here, not anywhere near what you would expect for a holiday weekend. Inspiring Charm, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I certainly don't mean to. I always have trouble reading the chat. So the sun has pretty much officially set. When I look behind me, you can still see a little bit of light. And And again, I don't know what the status is on when they turn the lights on. I just hope that they do it not too long after the sun goes down. I could be wrong. It's really something to see though. You know, it's unfortunate too, because last year they didn't do any fireworks either. And that's something that's a major attraction. So imagine what you're looking at right now with fireworks overhead. It's unbelievable. Not to mention they got the lights lit up and they have light shows and stuff like that. Lots of entertainment down here. They'll have bands and, you know, concerts and things like this. One of these days, if I can get up at 5:30 in the morning, I'll catch the sunrise too. That will be different because the sun will rise over the falls, whereas here for the sunset, obviously it's setting behind us. There's very few people out here today. It's easy to social distance. I've got a mask on me if I need it. I'm not planning on going in anywhere. Kimmy Rose, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. There was a lot of haze here today too, so I don't know if you can see that. You know, the color might not just be as vibrant as it otherwise would because it was hazy here for most of the day. I can still see what I think is a bit of that haze, very thin. I don't know how much it comes through on the picture. And again, now I'm using an iPhone 11. So it should be a decent enough camera to get an accurate, you know, color. How chilly is that water? The boats aren't running yet, so I'm assuming it's still living off the winter. I'll bet there's still ice in places. I haven't seen any that I can think of right now for a week or two, but yeah, my bet is it's not ready for swimming or anything like that. It's interesting how cold it got today. It got up to 13 degrees Celsius, and now I don't know what the temperature is right this second, but because I'm standing still for the most part, it's starting to get a little bit cool. I got a light jacket, just like a spring jacket thing on. Most people are wearing something similar. Nothing too heavy, but everybody's got a sweater or a jacket of some sort. So the water has to be colder than that. Of course, Two Pineapples is from Hawaii, so much different story for them. Oh, it says it's 1080, eh? That's interesting. I just assumed it was 720, but that was without putting really any thought into it. Again, I'm using a backwards system now because it didn't work the first time. I had to change up the whole operation. But the good news is we're filming with the better camera now. I was up until now, and mostly when I live stream, I was using an old iPhone SE. Those things are 5 or 6 years old now. So it does shoot 4K 30, and I have videos. I think the biggest video has 400,000 views on another channel that I run. And there's lots with, 100,000 views, 200, whatever. So the equipment doesn't matter. you know, not as much as the content. But as long as it shoots 4K, that's all I'm worried about. I don't even shoot 4K 60 or 120 or any of that stuff. All I'm worried about is 30 for now. As long as it's 4K, it's 4K. Because the algorithm favors 4K footage. Not everybody's doing it yet, right? Oh, never get tired of these views. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I never get tired of it. I love, love, love coming down here. I just wanted to come and catch this. Like I said, I've got another channel set up. Whether I'll do anything with it or not is still debatable, but I'm thinking about, I have one called Niagara Insider. And the idea is, because I started doing so much of this stuff, maybe I'm gonna do a lot more and then just keep a dedicated channel for it, right? What I want to do is kind of mimic what Two Pineapples has got going on their channel, where they have a 24-hour live stream of different areas of Hawaii. Sometimes they have two 24-hour streams going with different content and live cams. And then as well, they go out and film on location, both live streaming and they make videos. So something along those lines. It's a little bit different here because Niagara Falls is a tourist town, so we have lots of hotels and attractions, tons of restaurants, lots of stuff for me to feature if I wanted to do that, right? I think everybody who walks by me is a little bit wondering why am I screaming. I always talk loud when I live stream. The water looks calm. Yeah, no, that undertow, you couldn't pay me to swim in that. Yeah, Two Pineapples, thank you again for your support. Of course, I always appreciate it. You know, I've been telling people now, I know you heard me today, but I've been telling people this weekend in Tuber Chat, I've been saying, you know, Two Pineapples has a 24-hour stream going where they're showing, you know, parts of Hawaii. And, you know, they've got some volcanic activity going on there and this and that. But it's nice to know when you have a friend. Like, I wouldn't have looked for Hawaii or any of that content, and now I find myself in there almost every single day. So what I've been saying is, you know, when I started with all of this live streaming stuff, what I found was when a live stream would end, before I ever knew what a raid was, before I'd ever seen one, there was this feeling of emptiness when, I don't know, I forget if that's my words or Two Pineapples, because we were talking about this on the phone the other day off of YouTube. But there's this feeling when everybody's together in a chat, you know, everybody's having a good time, feels like a little bit of a party or whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden it just ends. Okay, see you later, everybody. And, you know, YouTube's going to fix that now and do more like Twitch, where we can properly rate each other. But what I keep telling everybody is, so when a live stream ends or a premiere and you're thinking about watching something else, and there's nothing like that you can think of, like you look at your list, who's online, this and that. The trouble is Two Pineapples goes 24 hours. So a lot of times their live stream doesn't show up in your list, but you know that they're always on. They've been always on for weeks. It's getting on almost months now. So there's always something beautiful to see and engaging content because they've been at it so long. There's always people in the chat. So I do the same thing. Most of you know that I hit anywhere from 10 to 20 live streams a day if I'm lucky enough to be on the computer working for the day. But still, I manage to get over there quite often. I can see over on the side, it looks like they're working on the Maid of the Mist, so maybe they are getting the boats ready to go. Not for today, but, you know, sometime in the next little while. Forgive me, hopefully I haven't missed anything in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, though. Really... Oh, yeah, it'd be wonderful to visit Niagara Falls. It'd be wonderful to see Hawaii, you know, like now, it's not, I'm not only interested in that just because of Two Pineapples. My grandparents, on my mother's side, when they had retired, my mom insisted, like, you know, you guys need a vacation, you need a vacation. And I don't remember ever hearing them talk about it. I was very young, but they went to Hawaii. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh, well, you know, that must be the place. Like, if you're picking one place on the entire planet to go. So it always stuck in my mind as something that my grandparents had seen. And again, I was too young to ever have appreciated any story I would have heard about it, or whether they had a good time and this and that. But we all know that Hawaii is gorgeous. We've seen enough in movies and television anyway. And now with Two Pineapples showing us a bit of a more, you know, real look at what goes on, at least in their area, it's just something that sticks in the mind, right? So Niagara Falls is a popular tourist destination, as is Hawaii, as is, you know, there's lots of other places. But it's interesting now when you start having friends in these areas and think to yourself, oh, well, now I want to go and see that place. So if you had a bucket list, you might want to check off the things where you have friends or where you have a little bit more of a connection first. I just wonder that. Oh. Don and Tiggy to visit towards that way? Yeah, Hornblower is the Canadian one. The Canadian version of what we all know as Maid of the Mist. Yeah, opening date to be determined. Makes sense. Because they, you know, again, we just went back into lockdowns. Nobody's happy about that. Looks a lot lighter for you on the camera than it does for me right now. Starting to look a little bit dark, at least over the United States. That building that you see, by the way, with the bright light on the top, that's Seneca Niagara Casino. So, you know, I wouldn't know what all the other buildings are. If I ever knew a couple of them, I've forgotten already. But we're looking at Niagara Falls, New York over there. So I don't know if you can make out when they keep changing the sign at the top there. It's got a beautiful LED display and all this stuff, but it does say casino on it at different times. In Rachel's place, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. I love going to, I love visiting casinos. I love to see them. Like, I don't know if it's the money or the lights or the technology. I don't know what it is, but there's some kind of a thing. But I don't gamble. So I can go to a casino and stand there for 4 hours and not play if I don't feel like it. And I never, even if I do play, I never spend a lot of money anyway. I'm good enough in poker to break even, but never like actually win anything. I only played one tournament ever. It was a one-table tournament. I played at Foxwoods in Connecticut because I went there to visit. That place is apparently the world's biggest casino. It's like 4 or 5 casinos in one. And they do World Poker Tour there. And I'm sure a lot of the other TV shows. So I just wanted to do a tournament in, you know, the place where they do the World Poker Tour. So it was a one-table tournament, and I forget, but I probably was knocked out first. I did terribly. So if you ever want to make some money, offer to play poker with me. Other than that, I usually break even, so I don't end up spending money in casinos. Little Frenchie in Big Texas, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. Oh, the lights are on. The lights are on the falls now. I don't know at what point you're going to be able to notice that. Oh, am I wrong? I feel like I see the lights. Yeah, it is. The lights are on. So it's not dark enough yet for them to really like show any color unless they're just on in white right now. But there's a structure somewhat underneath where the camera's sitting. I don't know what the drop is here. I don't know if it's, you know, it could be 100 feet, 200 feet. It could be farther. I can't tell. I can't judge, right? But it's about the same on our side as it is on the other side. So you could kind of judge for yourself, right? Anyway, the lights are in a structure underneath us and to the left about 50 feet. So they're probably where I should be standing to do this, but there's a few trees and bushes and stuff like that, so I had to try to avoid that with the camera. Anyway, hopefully we'll see some light shortly, but maybe that's what's making the falls look a little bit lighter than they should, considering how dark it actually is out here. It's not dark, it's just getting dark. Cooking with Miss Brown? Kristen actually did a live stream the other day, so I went with her. March 26th every year is Purple Day, and that is a world, like a globally recognized day in support of epilepsy. And Kristen's full-time gig is running a nonprofit organization here in the Niagara area called Epilepsy Niagara. So she came out here to do a live stream because what a lot of the landmarks around the world will do is color themselves in purple, all the ones that have these LED lights and stuff, in support of that holiday, at least for a little while. So they colored everything purple for about 15 minutes the other day. We came out for a live stream. So if you want to check out Kristen's channel, you'll get a better look at what I'm hoping to show you a few minutes of right now with these lights. We'll see if our batteries hold up long enough. And it's interesting down here too. I've done other live streams down here at night. They don't have a lot of light in this area. Surprisingly, they have a low amount considering how many tourists are here. But I'm sure that that's so that the focus is put on the, lighting of the Niagara Falls. Trying to convince myself I can see the tiniest bit of color. It looks like almost little tiny bits of pink in the falls, but I could be wrong about that. That might just be my eyes playing tricks on me. Probably because I want to see the lights so bad. Like I said, I never get tired of this stuff. Yo, it's your boy Leo. Thanks for coming in. Forgive me if I've missed anybody. I certainly don't mean to. I don't do a great job of reading the chat, but if you saw how I have my phone and everything hooked up, you'd understand. It's funny because when I look at the screen, it doesn't look dark at all, but it is clearly evening. The good news is now that we've been out here and done this once, when I come back and do it again, I'll do an even better job the next time around. Usually I don't do this. Usually I don't just do a live stream, and I'm just focusing on one thing. But I was hoping to do two things at once here, which is film this and go live at the same time. But I wanted to see what, the outcome would be. Oh, you do see the pink now? You can see it coming through. Purple mist, maybe. I did figure out, by the way, what caused the second time I tried to restart the stream, why it was in portrait mode. You have to remember, so I use an iPhone, you have to remember if you use these things, if you keep that setting on that keeps your phone always in portrait mode, it's going to force YouTube and Streamlabs and everything else to be in portrait mode. So it's something I hadn't considered, because again, I don't usually film with this phone. So that was our error there. But hopefully I can save you a bit of a headache. Hopefully none of you here caught the second stream. You would have heard me yell for the first time. I literally yelled at the phone. I was so mad. I try to never do that. I wonder how well you can see the LED lights on that casino across the way there. That might give you a little bit of an idea of how dark it actually is, if you can see the lights off in the distance. You know, it's surprisingly clean around here as well. The other day I went out into the downtown area. I was a little bit disappointed because there was quite a bit of garbage everywhere. Turned out it seemed to be only in one area, so maybe it was just one person had decided to throw their stuff all over the place at one time. But over here, things are spectacularly clean. Fazio to Face King, thanks for coming in. Mr. Fulton Mraz, good to see you here. Oh, there you go. Oh, I see. You can see the lights changing. That's the casino. That's Casino Niagara. That's Seneca Casino in Niagara Falls, New York. So we've been out here for about an hour. I'm gonna keep rolling for, let's say, another 15 minutes. It's about 8:15 my time. We'll go until 8:30 and see what's coming up. If the batteries and everything hold out, we'll stay that long, and then we'll see if we can get a better look. I hope the lights start to change. One of the things you may have seen in my other live streams is, you know, because the hotels and things have all, you know, they're operating now to a point, but because so many were so empty for a while there, what a lot of the hotels here in Niagara Falls did, and I'm sure there's other parts of the world where people have done the same, they put either like the word hope down the side of the building by turning on different room lights to make the letters, or some of them put a heart, you know, and stuff like that. So at least that's nice to see. I can't remember for the life of me whether I actually got that in my other live streams. I must have, because it's so common here. Forgive me if I'm missing stuff in the chat. Phasio to Phase King's birthday is coming up in a couple of months there. Yeah, Michael's Adventures. I never get tired of this. I love it so much. What I actually feel bad about is not live streaming longer than I usually do. I don't usually go for more than an hour at a time when I'm out. I have hit an hour and a half or 2 hours, but I don't think I've ever really gone over that. I can't remember now. But maybe this year while I'm out, I'll get into doing longer live streams, you know, more content. And I intend to show a lot more of what there is to offer in Niagara Falls, not just the falls, right? For the last little while I've been coming here because while we're on lockdown, so many things are closed. I don't have a lot that I can really show everybody. But we'll, you know, when things open up again a little bit, at least for a while, we'll get out and do a few things. One of the things that's on our bucket list for right now is to get on one of these hornblower cruises. There, now you can see the colors. Isn't that like gorgeous? So I hope they keep changing these things. They usually do. But this is what I was talking about. This is like what I wanted to show everybody. You know, the sunset is behind us, but these lights are just gorgeous, right? Yeah, I'm glad everybody's enjoying this. And eventually I'll come out and get more of this as well, right? Like I said, I'm going to try to catch as much content as I can. Oh, I guess that, I wonder if they're doing red, white, and blue because this is the American Falls. And on the other side, you know, I'll have to show you another time. They've got the Horseshoe Falls all done in red and white right now, which would be Canada's colors. We'll see what I got out of this. I might try to chop it up into a time lapse as well. And I'll come and do this again so that I could do a better job, get out here 15 minutes earlier, make sure the phone system's all right, and then catch some more of this. As it got colder, lots and lots of the tourists around here have left. There's almost nobody around here. It already wasn't that busy, and now there's only like 10% of the people who were here when I got here. I don't know if we're afraid of the dark or afraid of the cold. Pacing back and forth over here trying to keep warm. It got really cold really fast. This view's kind of out of control, eh? I just hope they change the lights soon. I just don't know, you know, if there's a standard thing that they do, or my guess is that it's similar to our televisions, right? You don't want to leave these very expensive lights on one color too long. So it probably benefits them to change them up. We'll see. And we learned something today. They put the lights on half an hour after the sunset. So at least we know that. So we'll stick around long enough to see if they're going to change after 15 minutes or not. Oh, Corinne's Life is in the house. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, this is really, really nice. I wanted to show everybody what it looks like for a sunset. So the sun sets behind me. It's impossible to ever catch a sunset going the other way. I'll try to get out here and catch a sunrise, which will happen over the falls, but I just wanted to show the difference, right? As it gets dark, the lights come on. Such a spectacular thing to see. Oh, that's all good, Corinne's Life. I appreciate every moment that you spend. I'm going to see if what we've got here can be put into a video. Now, I've got a GoPro going as well, so I'm going to see what I get off that. If I can, I'll either put out, you know, an hour-long video of the sunset or time lapse or something like that, but I'll put music. I think everybody's heard me talk enough this weekend. If you haven't got enough of my voice yet, you can come to Tuber Chat and listen to me talk about YouTube for 2 hours tomorrow again. And maybe one of these days I can get out here and get a film of this just with the actual real sound of the water, where I won't talk. Like, I'll just let the ambiance of the area roll behind the video. We'll see. Just waiting this out now to see if these lights are going to change. So because the other day we came down here with Kristen and they said that they were going to light the falls purple for Purple Day for 15 minutes, my guess is that they changed the lights a minimum of once every 15 minutes. So I could be wrong, but we're going to learn pretty quick here. That for me, would I like a 4 a.m. wake-up call? Yeah, you'll just be going to bed at that time probably, wouldn't you? The sunrise live. You know, I almost made it today. So I was going to do it today, and I chickened out because I knew it was going to be freezing cold, right? And the problem is I don't want to stand out here when I'm, like, I don't know if it's 10 degrees now Celsius or 8 or what it is right this second, but it's already, like, cold enough that I'm pacing around. But at 0, I would have froze standing here for an hour, hour and a half, right? So I chickened out this morning. I got up like kind of just by accident, right in time that I might have caught it, but I didn't want to rush, and you know, I would have got so mad at myself if I didn't get it. Maybe I could try for tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. I don't know. But I got to look at the weather too. If not, I'll get it soon. I'll get it very, very soon. Yeah, it gets really, really pretty now. Yeah, sunrise over the falls will be crazy. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, so I found a site just this morning where there is a, yeah, you can get sick. Well, it's not just standing here, but we experienced a 13-degree rise in temperature today from the time I woke up at 5, 6 o'clock, well, closer to 6, but 6 o'clock this morning, it was 0. So it got up to 13, and now we're already back down to 10 or 8 since I've been out here. So yeah, this plays havoc with people with allergies, and yeah, you could probably get sick. I do pretty well. I don't get sick very often, and I always, you know, dress warm and stuff like that. But to catch a sunrise, I want to make sure that I'm going to be happy with it. We'll see. I'll get it soon, 100% though. I gotta, you know, it's always weather dependent. Coffee and snacks. G-free. Sorry. Yeah. I'm so glad that I caught this. You know, you don't know when you come out here. And, you know, we learn every day. I know I've been living here 5 years. There's still lots and lots and lots to learn. But I'm so glad that I got to share this with everybody. And, you know, there'll be lots more of this to come, that's for sure. Still going to hang out for a while, for as long as almost everybody wants. We'll see what happens here. Watch the time and see if we're anywhere close to these lights changing. I don't know. May not happen. Oh, what do you think? We'll wait this out another 5 minutes? If the lights are going to change, I want to see it. There it goes, look at that. Isn't that something? They're doing the same on both falls. It's just yellow and red, I guess. So as you can imagine, these things change like constantly, all kinds of different colors. Then they got all kinds of stuff. They color them, like I said, for different global events, or you know, for the non-profit organizations and the things that they do. But isn't this something? You know what I'll do? I'll plan to come down here another time, just for the sake of getting the whole light show. That'll be something else. So, I guess my guess was somewhat right. For those of you keeping score, they put the lights on. I didn't know that they put them on half an hour after sunset. I was lucky for that. But they changed them after 15 minutes. So maybe that's the thing here. So I wasn't gonna do this, but there's no reason not to. Since we're at the end of the live stream now, I will bring everybody over and we'll take a very quick look at the other falls before I shut this down. Just so you can see, the lights are doing the same thing over there, but it is another spectacular view, and we'll consider it a teaser for what more will be coming from KevinKaye.com. Even the GoPro held up today too. Oh boy, am I cold. Okay, forgive me, because this is not going to be nice. I got to figure out how to do this. I got to put my gimbal and stuff away. Do it as fast as I can. And then we'll get over to the other falls. Even the sky wheel is not lit up tonight. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that not lit up. That's our, it's this monster Ferris wheel. So forgive me again, I don't have the gimbal for the phone today hooked up. The new phone doesn't fit. And you can see how dark it is now. You can tell there's like no light around here. But I will give you a distant look at the other falls. Look at that mist. And again, that light show. Isn't that something else? No, I took the phone out. The problem is it's the gimbal that I have was designed for when the phones were much smaller and lighter. So it's like a few years old. Phones weren't this big and heavy at the time. So this thing, it doesn't, the gimbal I have doesn't allow counterweights. For those of you who have gimbals or have seen them, like the DJI stuff, the Osmo mobiles, you can screw in some counterweights that offset the fact that the phones are so huge. But mine doesn't do that. So my old phone works perfectly, but the new one is just way too monstrous. So I'm looking at getting a new gimbal sometime soon anyway. Whew. Yeah, the mist is something else as well. So you can tell there's hardly any wind because that mist is flying straight up into the air. When there's wind, you can imagine that that mist flies right over on top of everybody and you literally get soaked. One of my live streams, no matter how many times Kristen told me, like, it's just a mist, it's just a mist, I was still insisting, no, it has to be raining because this is too much. And then thank you, D-May. If anybody is new to me here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I do a lot of different content on this channel, including YouTube tutorials, product reviews, and a lot of live streaming around Niagara Falls here. And then, I think it's time we're gonna wrap it up because it is almost cheesecake time for me. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I appreciate every moment that you've spent. And hopefully we'll see you again very, very soon. For those of you with YouTube channels that want to meet some more creators, come over to TubeChat, my second channel, where we introduce creators to each other for the purpose of long-time support for each other. And if you enjoyed this video, then I hope you'll share it with anybody that you think would like to see it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up before you leave today. And I'll be happy to read any comments. I go through all of them, of course. And then we'll see you all again very, very soon. So thank you again, everybody. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me while I come to do this. And we'll see you again soon.